The nation's longest-running traveling celebration of traditional arts, the National Folk Festival comes to downtown Jackson for the first time, November 7th through the 9th. A fun-filled weekend for the entire family, exploring roots, richness, and variety of American culture. Non-stop music and dance, folk life demonstrations, hands-on children's activities, signature Southern foods, crafts, and more showcasing the best of America, the best of Mississippi, all free. We'll see you in November. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, is the official companion podcast to the upcoming MPB original documentary, focusing on the life of Medgar Evers. The companion podcast, hosted by me, Rita Brent, will feature in-depth conversations, extended interviews, and exclusive archive footage not shown in the documentary. Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, video and audio episodes premiere September 18th. Find it on mpbonline.org or wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Good morning. Welcome to Deep South Dining here on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White, Carol Palmer, and it's a gorgeous fall Monday morning out and about. Carol?
Indeed it is. And Malcolm, I just would like to be the first to wish you happy National Cheese Toast Day.
Hey, look at my nose.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got like 40 national food days before us, and you and I chose, without ever having spoken about this, National Cheese Toast Day. In my house and my family, we eat beaucoup cheese toast.
Indeed. Same here.
Kara and I will make cheese toast out of all sorts of cheesy items. We make pimento cheese toast. We make blue cheese toast. We make cheddar cheese toast. We make fresh sliced tomatoes and cheese toast.
It's a plethora of cheese toast.
And we have it regularly at dinner. So
I have almost daily.
Happy cheese toast. You know, as a child, and every time I make cheese toast, I recall growing up, and we were taught on Saturday morning to get up and make our own breakfast, and 9 times out of 10, it was a slice of American cheese on a piece of bread, toasted. And I always like mine to be sort of burned a little bit. So let me tell you what I do now. I put the cheese on the bread. I use sourdough and interesting cheeses now in my adult life. But before I pop it in the broiler, I drizzle it with olive oil. And it makes this wonderful.
That's so new age.
So good.
Malcolm.
So good.
You know, when
and
you're
it toasts the bread even and toasts the cheese.
Well, that's a great tip we can pass on. But you remember when you did the American cheese on your cheese toast, it would kind of bubble.
Oh,
a little bubble on top.
Blister.
Yes, that's the word.
I loved it. I blister my cheese now. All the stuff I'm talking about, I blister it before I eat it.
I like a little.
I stand over it and watch it broil until it's just the way I want it.
Malcolm, we were both doing that, but I learned mine in the kitchen of my grandparents on Main Street in Hattiesburg, and my grandfather would do not only cheese toast but cheese crackers, and he would get that good cheese that. Yeah, they used to call it rat cheese.
I remember rat cheese.
Yeah, from the grocery
from the big
store.
Hoop.
Yeah, they would cut it and anyway, happy National Cheese Toast Day,
Carol,
my friend.
And the same to you and each and every one of our listeners this morning. Now, lots of things to cover here in our first segment. When we go through this show, we're going to talk about the New York Times several times. We have a guest coming on who has made the New York Times bestseller list, Matthew Bounds. He was also a panelist on the cookbook panel at the 11th annual Mississippi Book Festival last Saturday. And 2 of the other panelists were guests of ours last week. And so Matthew is going to join us later in the show. But we're also going to talk about another New York Times piece.
It's a big deal, Mal. It's a big deal. The Mayflower Cafe in Jackson, Mississippi was named one of the top 50 restaurants in the United States.
Top 50.
You know, that is huge. And the project that they undertook to come up with these 50 is pretty astounding. The New York Times team that did this, they ate over 300 meals in 30 states. There were 76 airplane flights involved, but they crisscrossed, the country, eating at different restaurants, and here we go. We're on the map again.
Yes, this is great. So congratulations to the Mayflower for Hunter and Cody and all of those who had a hand. Martin Lamar, former mayor, Kane Ditto, everyone who brings us the contemporary modern day new Mayflower. We are grateful, and look what happens when you do good work.
It does indeed. So there you go.
So I know, Carol, you were unable to attend on Saturday, but
Mal, I was under the weather.
Under the weather. Well, we're either under the covers or under the weather.
I was both.
And I was able to attend. I got there early. I was there for the opening ceremony, which was a tribute to the late Greg Iles. It was a wonderful ceremony. His wife and children were all there. And then the panels began, and early, out of the gate was the cookbook panel. And Marissa was there. Marissa and I represented.
I was, yes.
What did you think of it?
Well, as always, Enrica did a great job moderating. And Swamp Dog is just a hoot.
I was told he didn't show up for the Friday night film showing in Fondren. But either way, he was certainly there on Saturday and in good form. So it was great to see him again and to hear him present.
Oh, yes. It was a very well-rounded panel. I learned a lot. I've got my copy of Matthew Bounds' book. Right here. And I know we've already got our if you can kill it, I can cook it, and For the Love of Chocolate. So it's great all around. It
was a great panel and well attended. Because this is what I do for a living, I counted. There were over 100 people in that 9:30 a.m. session.
And Mal, you and your family were one of the sponsors, and we thank you.
We were, yes, we were. I have a little small fund called the H.T. White Family Fund, and we are able to sponsor things like the book festival, like the upcoming folk festival, and various scholarships. We have a scholarship at Northeast Mississippi Community College. We have a scholarship at Hines Community College.
And they are both in the culinary program, right?
That's correct, in my brother's name and my dad and mom's name as well. But anyway, the book festival was a huge success. They had a gigantic night afterwards at Hal & Mal's, which I did not attend, but I was able to pick up on. Marissa, did you make it to the club?
I did, and I was going to say a little shout-out to Damian Kavicki. We ate at Hal & Mal's before the show, and I spoke to him. He said he's been listening, and he loves it. So shout-out to Damian. And, yeah, it was a great concert. Great concert.
One of the best blues shows lineups I've seen in a while.
Oh, it was incredible.
Brought to you by the Frasconia Law Firm and the old Frasco folks. And anyway, it was well attended. And I also attended the John T. Edge session where Michael Ferris Smith interviewed John T. about his new book. I think it's being released today or tomorrow, called House of Smoke. It is a memoir that John T. Has written, and it was a fascinating session because it was very personal. It was about his life, the conflicts, the family, his upbringing in rural Georgia. Were you in there, Marissa?
I was not in that one.
I didn't know if I saw you there or not.
And John T. is the founder of the Southern Foodways Alliance, and he is one of the most important voices in food in America. A great Mississippian. We claim him now.
Oh, and he claims us as well.
Yeah. I had a wonderful lunch with him at Hal & Mal's last week, and it's good to see him in town. And, we'll have him on the show once the book gets out.
He is coming to Lemuria, and if anybody listening knows the date that John T. is going to be at Lemuria, that would be cool if you let us know. I can't remember. I'm looking at my calendar. But
You know, of all the wonderful things we say about him, one thing I always forget to say is he's one of the best writers. He is
Great writer.
a great writer.
Yeah.
And his show, do you ever watch True South?
all the time.
You know, they get on the bus and go to all these, you know, wonderful towns and talk about the food culture. And it's on ESPN. And
Yeah, it's on a you would think, what a weird network. But no, it fits well.
It fits well, yeah, with the SEC and all of this. But what was funny, when we were having lunch the other day, he was saying, oh, yeah, I've got to go do some writing on a script, finish up a script for the next, you know, True South. I was going, John T., I thought y'all had all those things in the can, and I think they're like one town ahead of. You know,
right.
They're riding and rolling.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a great program,
and just has won numerous awards. So cool.
Yes. So the book festival was a huge success, and on we go. Next on our calendar is the National Folk Festival coming up November. Marissa, do you know? Is it 7 and 8 or something like that?
I think it's in the teens. Let me get it. I'll be for sure.
We're not all together. Hey, Carol, last week I participated in a roast for our great friend Robert St. John, a celebrity roast brought to you by the Mississippi Press Association, a fundraiser for their foundation and for their scholarship programs. And we had a great time roasting old Robert at the Hilton. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
He skewered him.
I let him have it pretty good, but looking back, I mean, Anthony Thaxton and others were far more brutal. I thought I should have gone a little deeper there, but anyway,
Give us a tidbit.
Well, you know, we got after him about his weight. We got after him about how many restaurants he's opened. We got after him about the fact that he's a germaphobe and he's always worried about who's sick and is he going to get it. All sorts of things. I mean, humans are so peculiar. But Robert's a great human being, and he took it all in stride and had great rebuttal. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And he
got to rebut after
yes,
y'all.
He did. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he's got a new his Christmas book is coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Again, one of those things I don't have a date for, but I know it's up and coming. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. People talked about cholesterol as his calling card and stuff like that. But anyway, Robert took it all in good fun and again raising money. And he's got a big event coming up for Extra Table. I know that we've got some info that we can share later. Is that in a couple of weeks, Marissa, when they're having that big fundraiser?
Well, first of all, I want to say you were right, Malcolm. It's November 7th through the 9th for National Folk Festival.
Okay.
And I will find out those dates for the Extra Table right now.
I mean, you know, you'd think I would come prepared, but yeah, I'm sort of a freewheeler. You know.
Yeah, you are a freewheeler.
And a lot of times I'm looking to our listeners to help us out, just to see if people have their ears on. Well, just see if they have their ears on. You know.
Hey, and I'll just tell you this about John T. Edge. John T. Edge is going to be interviewed by Adam Ganeshow, the editor of Mississippi Today, on October 9th at 4:30 p.m. at
Well, guess
Lemuria.
what else happens on November the 9th? That's the day of the Lemuria signing. Now, I have it in my calendar.
October 9th, Mal.
Okay, October. So, yes,
yeah,
October the 9th on my calendar. I have John T. signing at Lemuria. I have it at 10 a.m., that's an unusual time for a signing on a Thursday. But that's what I have in my notes. And
this is an event, Malcolm, with Ganeshow.
Later that evening.
Yeah, at 4:30.
Well, that's probably why he can't do the traditional 5 o'clock signing. So he's doing this other thing. They're on the same day.
So much to worry about.
Oh, no, we're not worried. We're overjoyed for all these good things going on. But anyway, John T. will be in Jackson October 9th. It's a Thursday. Book signing at Lemuria. Event at
Lemuria.
That's also where the Ganeshow.
It looks like it.
Well, anyway, there you have it. Lots to ponder. Lots to head scratch over. As I said, we're going to take a break, and we're going to have in the studio via Zoom here, we're going to have Matthew Bounds, who was the third panelist on the cookbook panel at the recent Saturday Mississippi Book Festival. He what a phenomenon. According to the press, and I didn't get to meet Matthew. I think Marissa got to meet Matthew later. Is that right?
I did not. I actually fangirled a little too hard. And I didn't introduce myself, but
you are a big fan.
I am a big fan.
Yeah. You're kind of goo-goo for this. What this guy does.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I found him around 2023, and I've liked him for a while, so I'm really excited that we get to talk to him.
This is the fascinating thing about this guy. He says in his own biography that he taught himself to cook in 2020. Okay, that's 2020. By 2022, he had millions of followers on social media. And here we are at 2025, and I think he's working on his second or third cookbook, Marissa.
I think it's the third, yeah.
He's already been on the New York Times bestseller list with a self-published book.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing.
He's busy, Mal.
And you
He's
know what
very
he
busy.
does? You know what his forte is, Carol?
What?
One pots. This
We love
Keep
a
It Simple
one-pot.
is a one-pot book. Right, Marissa?
Absolutely.
And he said he's not talking about cooking a one-pot dish and then having rice or potatoes on the side. He says, no. Everything
Goes
gets
into
cooked
that pot.
into the one pot.
Hey, he kind of follows our philosophy.
He does.
How much stuff can you put in a pot? Malcolm, when Malcolm
Indeed.
gets his pot going, he tastes it, and he'll go, "Oh, I think some tomatoes would be good in here."
Yeah.
And then he tastes a little more and goes in the refrigerator
Snoops around.
and snoops around.
Digs about.
Yeah.
A lot of freestyle there, Carol.
I know.
Meanwhile, you have the
I'm
recipe
the recipe.
out,
I'm the
and
recipe
you're like,
girl.
No, it's 2/3 of a cup.
I know. When we were cooking the Chinese food, we were cooking. It was something we were doing for the show.
Yeah, it was a book.
We laid out all of these condiments. We went through my kitchen cabinet. We had like 12 condiments on the counter, and you would look at them and go, I think this could have a little sambal. Or
That was great. You had all those great condiments. Those are really good. And you know, it reminds me, what was the name of that book that was all about the condiments? It came out this past year.
You mean Global Pantry?
Yeah, Global Pantry. What a great book. Sometimes
Yeah,
I just...
I'm
And I was
growing
thinking, this is-
lemongrass just so I can make a recipe in that book. So if you need any fresh lemongrass, call me.
Good. You know, I've just recently started composting. I think I mentioned that once before. I got a composter for our anniversary. See? What a loving gift.
I know, happy anniversary, Mal.
And thank you. Take your composter and go out in the yard. But I've finally started composting, and my grandson, Wilder, really gets a kick out of it. He likes participating in the compost. He likes to turn the wheel. So I'm making my own dirt, and I'm excited about it. Speaking of growing lemongrass, I'll be able to furnish you with some my own original dirt here soon.
Yeah, okay. A boutique compost.
You know, Felder does that. Felder he composts, and he gives gifts of little bags of his special dirt that he makes. I think that's a cool thing, you know.
Yeah, and our friend that was on here from Wormworks.
There you go.
They have
Of
their bags
course.
of compost. Who knew?
We knew. The shadow knows. That's for sure. All right, hey, we're going to take a break. How about that? We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to be zooming away with our new friend, Matthew Bounds. Matthew is from the coast, Gulfport, as I understand it. He is an online social media phenom with thousands and thousands of followers, and was one of the 3 cookbook authors on the Mississippi Book Festival this past Saturday. So we'll be right back with Matthew Bounds, and we'll talk about his book and all that he creates and what's going on in his world down on the Golden Gulf, or the Gulf of Mississippi. We'll be right back with more Deep South Dining.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting,
concerts,
which makes underwriting on
Tiny
MPB
Desk
a
Radio.
smart investment.
We're your hosts from NPR.
Join us in supporting MPB.
And I'm
Learn
Bobby
more
Carter.
at
So we're going to talk about all of the
mpbfoundation.org.
things that go into Tiny Desk.
When the weather turns severe, when breaking news affects your family, when Mississippi needs answers, MPB is there. We provide real-time emergency alerts, trusted news coverage, and live broadcasts of emergency updates. Available on TV, radio, and online. MPB is on the air and by your side every day of the year. Because when it matters most, Mississippi turns to MPB, Mississippi's trusted source. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, is the official companion podcast to the upcoming MPB original documentary, focusing on the life of Medgar Evers. The companion podcast, hosted by me, Rita Brent, will feature in-depth conversations, extended interviews, and exclusive archive footage not shown in the documentary. Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, video and audio episodes premiere September 18th. Find it on mpbonline.org or wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to the magic that is Deep South Dining right here on MPB Think Radio. The show all about the culture of Southern flavor. You know, I don't say that much anymore. We used to say it all the time. Maybe I need to get back to our roots, Marissa.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Hey, before we go any further, I wanted to give a shout out those people who are listening or watching us, I should say, on YouTube right now. Shout out to all of you. We had a listener, Margie Harrelson. She said, "Good morning, Malcolm and Carol. I love my cheese blistered."
Yes.
Yes, blister, what a great word.
And we're going to welcome now our new friend, Matthew Bounds, to the show. Matthew has a New York Times best-selling cookbook out called Keep It Simple. He is followed by millions on social media. He has been birthed onto the scene as recently as teaching himself to cook, as I understand it, in 2020. And now look at him, and he is from Gulfport. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Marissa and I attended your panel on Saturday, and that was really a nice introduction to your work. And if you would mind, just, tell us a little bit how you got started in this world. Was it accidental or was it purposeful, or what's the story, man?
No, there's nothing purposeful about any of it. So in 2020, like I said, I found myself working from home. I no longer had a commute. And I thought, you know what, I'm coming up on 40 and I don't know how to cook. So I'm going to use this extra time every evening to teach myself. So I started working on that and messed up a lot of groceries. And in 2022, a friend of mine texted me and she said, "Hey, I made a TikTok account for my dog and I'm gonna make it big. This is gonna be my career. We're gonna make TikTok videos about my dog. And I need you to make a TikTok account so you can go and follow me and like my videos." And so that's how I ended up on TikTok. And it did not take long until she had also convinced me to make TikTok videos. So I started out thinking I was gonna be a DIY account. We were going to make DIY videos and yard work videos. And a lot of people that I meet that say I've been following you since the beginning, they remember the great fence rebuild of 2023. There was a whole multi-part series of me rebuilding my privacy fence. And Mississippi is just super hot in the summertime. And I'm sweaty, I'm covered in sawdust, I'm irritable, and I don't want to film anything outside. But by then,
into the kitchen you
I had a
go.
following.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what kind of content am I going to post? Because I was having a lot of fun. I wasn't making any money at it, but I was having fun. So I just started posting what I was making for dinner, and that's the stuff that really took off. So in 2022, I had a few thousand followers. In 2023, I had a few thousand more. In 2024, I think is when things really kind of escalated for me. And
Well,
I had the self-published cookbook. We sold a lot of copies of that. That got picked up by Clarkson Potter, and we made the New York Times bestseller list last Thanksgiving. And it's just been a tornado of activity since then.
did you use the Amazon self-publishing?
I did.
Yeah, and what's it called?
KDP, Amazon KDP.
KDP.
Yep.
And but your first book was not Keep It Simple, right?
No, my first book is called Come Fix You a Plate. That one was done in spring of 2023. I was just getting a little bit of traction, and a friend of mine called me and she said, "Hey, I wrote this book with this company. They're a printer out of the UK, but they're wanting to pick up some content creators to write books. And they want to know if you'll write a cookbook." And before I could say anything, she said, "I already told them you're going to do it. You've got a meeting with them tomorrow." And so I said, "Okay, well, we're writing a cookbook. All right." And up until that point, I had really still been kind of dabbling, and I wasn't really fully committed to this is a cooking show, you know? So I decided, all right, well, if we're going to write a cookbook, we're a cooking show now. This is what we are. So I just kind of fell into that. So that one's still in production, but it's not mainstream. You can only get it at that website from the UK company Found. But the second one I decided to self-publish on Amazon. And like I said, within a week, it just went so crazy in a week. We were at the top of all these categories on Amazon, and the publishers started calling me, and the rest is history.
Wow.
I mean, this is a dream story.
We're getting some feedback up in here.
Ooh, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. No, it's all right. I'm just letting them rest.
I've got my AirPods in. Is that messing y'all up, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead, Carol. Carol?
Okay, you're hearing double.
We're in a, there we go. Is that better? Anyway, are you from Gulfport? Are you from the Mississippi Gulf Coast?
I'm from the coast, yes, but I grew up over in Hurley, Mississippi, right above Pascagoula.
Yeah.
And then my husband's from the Kill, so we kind of relocated to the middle here in Gulfport. We're centrally located.
Mal and I are coast people. I'm a
right.
pass person, and Mal is a Bay Rat.
Well, I'm actually from Perkinston. I'm from Perkinston.
He's from or
Matthew.
Perk, as they
Oh,
say.
okay. My sister lives in Perk. All right.
No.
Yes.
Really? There's so few
does.
people that live there. Where does she live?
She's one of the few.
Does she live in the little town or on campus? Or
She lives off East Wire Road. I feel like most everyone lives on East Wire Road.
Yeah, I know Wire
go up
Road.
there.
That's the main drag, man.
Mal's a
It
native.
is.
You know, truly, he is a native.
I'm a native of Stone County.
Yep. But most recently, your coast experience has been.
Oh,
many
yeah, I
years
spent
of the
18
Bay.
years in the Bay from like 2002 and until about the time you started teaching yourself to cook is when I
Gotcha.
moved on. But anyway, we're down there a lot. We both love it. Carol went to Coast Episcopal and had a home in the pass. And,
that was Carol had a home in the past. Katrina took care of our, over 100-year home. So there was no question about passing it down to one of the 6 children because it is gone. But before I was double talking to everybody, I was going to
Echo
say,
chamber.
wow, Clarkson Potter, I mean, you hit the big time. What a great publisher and a cookbook publisher.
They're incredible. And this has been quite an education over the past year, writing, because they bought Keep It Simple and then they signed me for another book. So we've been working on that one over the past year, and it has really been the coolest experience ever. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, who would have thunk? Who is your editor?
My editor is Susan Roxborough, and she's been amazing. The art director is Mary Sarah Quinn, who is obviously a legend. She's a titan of the industry. I did not even know who I was working with. So my
and here
photographer.
you are, a barefoot neighbor.
And here I am,
making
just some guy
making it
from
in the big
coast.
time. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Absolutely. But it's really been cool. The photographer, we brought him down from Connecticut. He brought in food stylists from Birmingham, Alabama, and we all met here on the coast to do the lifestyle photos back in May. And I was over, kind of eavesdropping on the food stylists and my photographer comparing notes, who's worked for who and who's done what work with what magazine, and to hear their resumes, it's just wild, the names that they drop that they've worked with. And then my art director's name got brought up, and I said, "Oh, yeah, Mary Sarah, that's who's working on my book." And their jaws were like hitting the floor. They said, "Mary Sarah, she's a legend." And I said, "I had no idea.
And
I've never
so am
Googled her.
I,
I
yeah.
just so yeah, it's been a really cool experience."
So the Barefoot Neighbor, where does that come from?
Well, again, when I started out, I thought we were going to be doing, this yard work DIY style content. And I thought, I just wanted to invoke this vision of that guy who's always out in his yard, rarely wearing shoes, with a beer, that's going to be obnoxious and walk over there and try to help you with whatever you got going on, in like the most obnoxiously friendly way.
Yeah.
And I really wanted it to be a very friendly, welcoming atmosphere. And so that was kind of how I started out my DIY projects. Was we would do like these little challenges, let's build a planter box, but let's only do it with a handsaw and a hammer. Let's not have crazy tools. Let's try to do things anybody can. So it all that kind of migrated over into the cooking space for me as well. And the name stuck. And of course, now that I do cooking, everyone thinks it's a play on the Barefoot Contessa. And I'm like, well, it's not, but thank you.
But if it helps you to sleep at night, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
What was your profession, your day job before this, and are you still doing something else, or has this become your entire vocation?
This is it. So most of my adult life, I worked in the service industry. I've been everything from washing dishes and bussing tables to the general manager. So in 2017, I was tending bar, and Hurricane Harvey had just hit Texas, and a friend of mine came into work and said, "Hey, you want to go be an insurance adjuster tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So we went and picked up jobs it was supposed to be a temporary gig as an emergency insurance adjuster, and it turned into a 6-year career. And at the time that social media took off, I was the liaison between an insurance company and the North Carolina Joint Underwriters Association, the wind pool. And I had 2 weeks of kind of no work. I was in between projects. I was waiting on a new project to start. And so my boss said, "Hey, you've been kind of fooling around with this social media thing. You want to just get out of here for 2 weeks and go play around with that and see if it sticks? And you can come back and start the project if you want. If not, that's cool too." And I said, "You know what? I'm going to try it out." So day one, I woke up on that 2-week break and I thought, yeah, I'm never going back. I'm gonna make this work somehow, some way. I'm gonna work for myself, and I'm gonna do this. And,
having over 1 million followers on Facebook and over 1.5 million on TikTok. I mean, that's mind blowing.
It is crazy to think about. We're actually, I just did the math the other day. We're well over 5 million now between
5 million.
Platforms.
I figured our
wild.
numbers were old. That you're in your growth spurt here.
Yeah, August was a big hit. We had a lot of growth during August. So yeah, we're at 2 million on TikTok, we're at 1 million on Instagram, and we are about to hit 2 million on Facebook. We're very close.
What kind of team do you have around you to help put the videos up?
You're looking at it. You're looking at it.
Malcolm, that's a good example of keeping expenses low.
Yes. This is
the
key to survival.
We're getting to the point. We are getting to the point where I'm gonna have to back up and let somebody help out. But I'm one of those people that I filmed the video, and if I edit it while it's fresh in my head, well, I remember which take I liked best. I remember that this little quip was in there and I want to keep it, so I'm looking for it while I'm editing. So it's just easier to me to edit my own videos, and I usually do them right away. If I let in a video sit unedited for more than a day or two, I'm probably never going to go back and edit it again. It's just going to be lost to the archives. I have to do it all while it's fresh. And so I do all my own editing, and then I'm like, well, I edited it. I may as well go ahead and be the one to get it posted. So DJ works on a lot of stuff behind the scenes for me, and he's starting to take over some of that, which is a big help.
He can also become a full-time employee.
Yeah. So he's actually, he wrapped up his master's degree. He had gone back to school during COVID, and he wrapped up his master's degree right about the same time that things were taking off for me on social media. And he was actually in his final semester when I wrote that first cookbook. And I said, hey, I need you to take some photos for me for this cookbook. So he was working on everything to wrap up his master's at the same time he was taking those photos for that book. And it was just chaos, but we got it done. And yeah, he got done with that. And he said, all right, I'm gonna go, look for a job. And I said, well, you know what? I got a job right here if you want to help out. So yeah, we've just kind of been working together ever since.
So there's a lot to these videos. I mean, I had a cooking school for many years, so I know what it takes to come up with the recipe, shop, prep, clean up. I mean, that's huge.
It's a wild amount of work. And I hate to, I'm living in a literal dream, it's not everyone's dream, but it's my dream. I absolutely love what I do. But when you pay your bills with it, eventually it does feel like work some days. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize, how much time and effort and money goes into creating the videos that get created, especially for someone like me who I turn them out. It's volume. We cooked a recipe every single day in August, so that's 31 days of full-on dinner recipes. And there's a lot of those that end up on the cutting room floor that never get posted because the recipe didn't come out right, or sometimes I forget to turn my microphone on, or I do half the recipe and the camera was not recording.
Right.
So, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't even make it, or sometimes I just don't like the footage. Or I had a whole recipe I cooked the other day, actually, and I edited it and everything, and I got ready to post it, and I was rewatching it, and I thought, I feel like I can do better. So I ordered the groceries all over again. I got back out there and I did a take 2, and that's the one that went up. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So who would you say your target audience is?
Oh, my target audience is folks that either can't cook and are just trying to get in the kitchen and get over that initial intimidation of it all, or people that can and just really don't want to be too bothered and just want to get it done. So a lot of my, if I go look at my insights and my analytics, it's always women 35 to 44 years old. That's always my biggest audience. I think it's a lot of moms and people who just really need to get dinner on the table and don't want to be fussy about it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Matthew, hang around. We'll have another round here. We're so grateful that you've joined us. Matthew Bounds, Keeping It Simple, a TikTok phenom and local fella from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. If you want to join the conversation, it's pretty easy. It's toll-free. It's just pick up the phone and dial 1-877-672-7464. You can ask Matthew a question or make a comment. We'll be right back with more Deep South Dining right after this.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining. Malcolm White, Carol Palmer, with our very special guest, Matthew Bounds, joining us from the Golden Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Living in Gulfport, a coast native and a cookbook author and a TikTok and social media phenom, has millions of listeners and followers and fans, including our very own Marissa Vaughn, who found Matthew on her own. What year?
I think it was about 2023. Quick story. I was working in food at the time. I was a prep cook, and I was cooking for 6-8 hours a day, cleaning up after myself. And when I would get home, I just really did not want to do that anymore.
Right.
And so stumbling across your Barefoot Neighbors videos, it was a game changer. And so I really appreciate that.
There you go. A non-paid solicitation and fan letter directly from your friends at Deep South Dining at MPB Think Radio. So, Matthew, I understand you have a very special event coming up on September 20th. Is that right? Some sort of live event?
Yes. So this weekend, September 20th, at noon on Saturday, I'm going live on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And we're going to stay awake for 24 hours on live and raise hopefully $1 million for 20 different nonprofits.
Wow.
So I don't know if I've ever stayed up for 24 hours before. We're going to find out how it goes.
So there won't be any editing or second takes here.
No.
Whatever you put out is what you have.
Will you be taking calls?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I was just thinking we could wake up in the middle of the night and call you.
There you go.
Ask you, hey man, your hair looks out of sort. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to look a mess by the end of it. No doubt.
Your charitable endeavors are just downright impressive. I mean, you have covered Knoxville, the coast, so many places, and kind of tell us where that comes from in your heart and how much time you spend on these endeavors.
Yeah, well, it comes from a place of when I first started gaining a following, I knew I wanted to do something with that. I wanted to leverage that in a charitable way. So again, even before I was making any money at social media, we were fundraising. That was one of the first things we did. And so it's kind of grown from there, and it's really my favorite part. I always tell people I just cook to pay the bills. That's the work side of it. The fundraising and all that, that's the stuff I really, really enjoy. That's my passion. And I love that I'm able to use my platform and my huge microphone to get the word out about good causes and help handle business. As far as how much time is spent, the reason we're doing a cash fundraiser this year is because last September we did our Beds for a Year campaign. We were going to put together enough beds, cribs, mattresses, pillows, all that for foster kids here on the coast for an entire year. So I had worked with an organization here to get an estimate of how many beds that would be, and we ended up with just under 700 complete sets of beds and cribs, bunk beds. We filled up 4 storage units to the rafters, and that was a month straight of a full-time job. I did nothing but wake up every day, and my mailman would text me and say, "Hey, you've got a dozen pallets out here on the loading dock." So then I would be on the phone trying to find volunteers and who's got a cargo truck. I need 2 men in a truck. I need the fire department. People would show up with trailers, and it was 7 days a week for a month just to get all that done. And I knew this year it would be even bigger. And I said, I physically don't have that kind of time this year. So we're going to do 24 hours and we're just going to raise the cash. And that's going to be what we do.
So do people bring the ideas to you, like the bed idea?
Yeah, it just kind of comes organically as I get more involved with the community. I meet people. Everything always seems to work out. I find myself in the right place at the right time at the right moment, and I meet someone. When the very first fundraiser we ever did back in summer of 2022, I had a tiny little following. And I had been driving by this building. Every time I go get a po' boy from the gas station, I drive by this little brick building, and it's got painted on the side of it, hand painted Elijah's Closet. And I didn't know what it was. And so one day I finally Googled it, and I saw that they provide items for kids in foster care. And so I just stopped in and I said, "Hey, I have this tiny little following on TikTok, and we want to do something. What do y'all need?" And I ended up staying in there for like 3 hours, just hanging out and talking with them and getting to know them. And Nikki, the founder, told me that they were actually thinking of closing their doors because they just had so little support. They couldn't keep things going. And so I brought that to my audience, and Elijah's Closets, I mean, I'm not saying it's all because of us, but they were able to keep going, and more interest grew, and now they're serving hundreds and hundreds of kids in 6 coastal counties. And it just always seems to work out.
Yeah.
Tell us about the one in Knoxville. I was fascinated by that and how that connection came together. I mean, you're a hero in Knoxville.
So I just saw it on Facebook. I had been following them for a while.
It was a food charity, right?
Yeah, it's Knox Pride Center. And they have a nonprofit thrift store that they use to help people in the community. They also have a food pantry. They have a resource center. They have a learning center. They do all sorts of stuff. And I'd been following them, but I've never really talked to them. And I saw where they put up a post and they said, "Hey, we're nearly out of food. Our shelves are empty. If something doesn't happen by this weekend, we're so sorry, but there's going to be nothing for us to hand out next week." And typically, whenever I do some sort of fundraiser, I always reach out to the nonprofit first, and I want to talk to them directly. Something in me just said, "This is urgent. I need to go ahead and just get this out as quickly as possible." So as soon as I got home, I went on my back porch and I made a quick video, and I said, "Hey, I just saw this post on Facebook. I have not talked to them yet, but I see their Amazon wish list here. I think we should hop on it, And within I think that was on a Thursday, and by that weekend, they had received over 15,000 packages.
Wow.
Amazon deliveries.
That's great.
They had to rent U-Hauls and rally the troops. They were able to stock up 4 other food pantries in the area. Great. It was just people just really, really answered the call. And not only that, there was a lot of people who, because of that video, did not even know about Knox Pride Food Pantry, and they live in Knoxville. So they showed up to help in person. So they have all these new volunteers who are now aware of them and who are showing up on a regular basis to help them out.
When you said you were going to get a po' boy, I have a quick question. Dressed and pressed, What kind of po' boy?
Oh no, I'm a very simple man. I want roast beef, not sliced, gotta be slow cooker shredded.
Okay.
I want extra gravy, extra mayonnaise, pressed. That's it.
Pressed.
I don't
okay.
want Don't put anything else on it. I want it dripping, soaking wet.
You want to wear it as well as eat it.
Yes.
Okay. Another quick question
messy.
from a listener. 2 guys in a house cooking 24/7. Leftovers.
Yeah. So we actually bought a separate stand-up freezer that lives in our mudroom for that reason. So we eat what we want off of it. And then we package up the rest in portions, like 2-person portions. It gets labeled, dated, and it goes in that freezer. And then my in-laws every so often come through and go grocery shopping in the freezer. They're very happy with this scenario. They love it.
That's great. So do you invite neighbors to the leftovers or just family?
I mean, I've never invited anyone specifically, but yeah, if anybody comes over and sees something in the fridge they want, they're welcome to it.
Well, tell us about the new book that you're working on, and we've just got a couple of minutes. We'd like to hear about that.
Yeah, sure thing. So the new book is called Keep It Simple, Y'all, Every Day. So this one is, the first Keep It Simple really focused on, like you said, one-pot meals, 30-minute meals, crock pots. This one does all that and more. We've got a date night chapter where we're going to cook for 2, and we're going to kind of make that elevated, sexy food. We're going to make some pan-roasted scallops and some sesame-crusted tuna and, all the things that maybe people feel intimidated to cook. We break that down and make it very easy to follow. We have a Sunday best chapter where I teach you how to fry chicken and make hush puppies and spatchcock a whole chicken and feed a crowd, in a really big way. We make it all very approachable. We've got a lighter fare chapter, which is really not my niche, but we did it. We've got some lighter stuff, some salads and soups and things like that. But above all, I want it to be very useful. We called it Every Day because there's something in it for every day of the year. Any occasion, this book's going to have you covered.
Great. Yeah. Matthew Bounds, thank you so much for joining us today, your Barefoot neighbor, and keeping it simple. Matthew Bounds from Gulfport, Mississippi. Thanks so much, and we hope to have you on again, and we'll get an update next time you come around. All right, Deep South Dining is a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio. We are made possible by the generous contributions from listeners like yourself. Please consider making a contribution to keep shows like this on the air. You can visit mpbonline.org or show your support by using the MPB app. Our show is produced by Marissa Vaughn, and we're grateful. We'll see you next Monday.
This forecast is underwritten by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi and the MyBlue mobile app for people on the go.